Okay, so e4 c5. So for those of you who don't know, this tournament is extremely long. I think like the game started before I woke up and they literally just ended now. Yeah, dude, this accuracy is just insane. This is probably one of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful games I've ever seen. This is just a regular Sicilian. It's a Najdorf going to like the classical variation. And f4, okay, this is going to go into preparation. I've actually never looked at these lines before. When I play, I always play bishop e3, so obviously not really something that they play. Yeah, Fabi had insane prep. Okay, so let's just see where everything goes. All right, so we sacrificed the pawn on b2. And yeah, of course Krejcik is gonna play in this tournament. Yes, of course. Fabi played really, really well. Okay, so rook to b1, queen to a3. Well, the queen just has to go somewhere. e5. Okay, so, you know, when you give up a pawn, right? What is something that you usually need to do immediately? D takes e5, most commonly played move. F takes e5. There's still like 102 games played or something. Yeah, dude, don't worry about the stream schedule. That's also incorrect. All right, so the main move here is g5, as you guys can see, but knight fd7 has also been played a few times before. Okay. Now, being a one trick is not that big of an issue if you play like 10 different lines in the same opening, you know? So, okay, so knight to d7, knight to e4. Okay, it's still theory. Queen takes a2, black grabs another pawn. Now, do you guys remember what you gotta do when you give up pawns? Like, what's the purpose of sacrificing pawns? Yeah, Spanish has a lot of variations. No, you do not resign. You attack. Exactly. Yeah, you attack to sack the queen. I don't know about that 126. Yeah, so the purpose of it is definitely to activate your pieces. So you gotta keep things super like on high tempo, basically. And piece activity is extremely important. So Fabi just puts the rook into the middle of the board. And after here, there is going to be a lot of piece activity, right, for Fabi? So after queen to d5, queen to e3, well, you gotta keep your pieces sort of active. This queen is always at risk of facing some sort of discovery attack. So it's really important to keep in mind about that kind of stuff. All right, queen takes e5, c3, bishop to c5, bishop to g3. Exactly, stroke my Sicilian. Okay, just keep attacking the queen on every move, right? Now this move is really cool. This move looks like it's losing a bishop. Yeah, Bobby's just casually down 3 pawns and he's about to lose another bishop. You know, you just have to keep in mind about what you gotta do with this position, and that is to keep up the initiative. So queen takes c4. Looks like it's going to get the bishop, right? Fabi at this point in the game is actually down like 6 points. He's down 6 points, but he has all of his pieces in the center, and this is all preparation, obviously, and this is probably all preparation that he's done previously with like the engines and stuff. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. It's not necessarily theory, but it's stuff that he's done preparation for. Like, he's literally done preparation for it, and that's really important to remember. So here he plays bishop to d6. The idea is easy. If bishop takes d6, then knight takes d6. Now, why is the bishop going to d6? Like, why? Why is the bishop going to d6? Why not is a very good question, Damien. You're actually pretty knowledgeable about chess. Preventing castling. Yeah, preventing castling. Black cannot castle. There we go. Okay, perfect. So, Preventing costling is exactly what you should be doing. Yeah, oh god, a test, exactly. Rebooted. Yeah, this has been played before. Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually had no idea this has been played before. I don't know any theory. I just look at chess because chess is cool. So, I mean, the way that this move is real, like why this move is good, like the engine can tell you something, right? But like there's still a reason to why you make a move. Like, you can choose to just play like an engine, or you can understand like why the engine does the things it does, and that's like the next level, right? Like being able to use an engine in your advantage in order to help engage your own level of thinking and improve your level of thinking. That's what using an engine is really about. It's not about being able to play like an engine. And this is a mistake that one of my least favorite students keeps making, and he refuses to listen to me. So anyways, I'm still malding. Okay, anyways, the point is, the king cannot castle. The king cannot castle, and that is the reason why, you know, the bishop is going on d6. Okay, so what does black do in this position? Well, he's so like if black just makes a move like knight to c6, just developing, right? Then white actually has knight takes c5. Wait, no, white does not. Does white have knight takes c5? What even is the move here? No, it's not knight takes c5 because you need your bishop to take, because then if knight takes c5, then you have knight to d6. So the threat is bishop takes c5 and then knight takes d5. Actually, MVL is doing extremely well in the candidates, so Sag Dosh. Sag Dosh indeed. So yeah, so white is currently threatening to play bishop takes c5 and then knight to d6. Okay, so for black to do something about this, right? Yeah, asking yourself why is definitely a great way to improve in chess. Like, you have to ask yourself why. Don't just follow the engine blindly. Just ask yourself why. Always think about like what is the purpose of making the move. No, I didn't watch it live. This was before I woke up. But yeah, so basically in this position, MVL played knight. Wait, is this what happened in the game? Yeah, MVL played knight to f6, which the engine doesn't really like, and it's going creeping back up. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so knight takes c5. You know, black still cannot castle. There's a very, very chat knight on c5 and a very chat knight on d4. We've got, I mean, white has a rook, a queen, 2 knights, and a bishop developed.
Sheesh.
Look at the time advantage. This is an advantage too. Like, Maxime has basically used an hour to just think about the first, you know, 18 moves of the game. And it's not even thinking about the first 18 moves of the game. Everything up to around queen takes a2 is still theory. And then stuff gets complicated. And that's what he's used, like, so let's start seeing where he starts using time. So up to here, he has used no time. So in a matter of 2 moves, okay, a little bit more than 2 moves. In about 2 moves, he's used like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. 2 moves for 50 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot easier. So there's a lot of reasons why doing theory is really, really important. Sorry, not doing theory. Studying theory for top level players is really important, because if you don't know this stuff, you get this into a game, and if you don't have the time in order to calculate all of this stuff at the top level, like, you're really screwed. Like, you're gonna lose. So, so Fabi has converted his theoretical. C3 has been played before. Okay. C3 has been played before. Okay, so then, I mean, he started using his time. It's pretty easy to guess, judging by when he starts using his time, what moves he has, what position has he seen before. So, yeah, at this level, like, if you don't know, you have to use the time, right? And now his time is gonna start to tick down. I think after C3, Maxime was already a little bit confused because he started using like 10 minutes. It's really cool actually to look at how much time people use on each move in order to determine how familiar they are with each move. So thank you, Dan, for the tier 1. Thank you. Welcome to the pool party. There is increment that's 30 seconds per move. Okay, so after knight d5, queen to e5, what, right? Like, we just have to keep keep things really, really aggressive, be able to do everything we want to do in a position. Okay, so knight takes d6. At this point, Fabi is down. Okay, wait. Okay, so knight f6 gives up this bishop. Hey, Castle, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome back to the third one. Thank you. Because in this position, Maxime probably felt like he had no way to develop his pieces. And white is threatening to play bishop takes c5 with the threat of knight to d6. And if he simply moves away his bishop to, let's say, a7 or something, then white has all the time in the world to just play bishop to b4, play something like knight d6, and there's just no way for black to castle or get any of his pieces out, right? And this queen is just so bad. And this is another reason why having a queen in the middle of the board is probably not a good idea. And this is why I don't like it when people play Scandinavian as beginners, because it teaches you really, really bad habits. So something really important to keep in mind. And I like, once again, I like seeing games like this, because even though it's a very, very tactical position, all the things that deserve to get punished get punished. E5, queen to e5, just keeping piece activity. Once again, once you've sacrificed 3 pawns for piece activity, what is one more sacrifice, right? Hey Nima, what does positional understanding mean? Okay, type 1 in the chat if you understand, and type 2 if you don't know what positional understanding is. This is the #1 thing that people who are new to chess really miss. Like, if you started chess during this online era, you got into chess because of PogChamps or Queen's Gambit or anything, then it's very likely that you actually miss a lot of positional understanding. So, yeah, I mean, like, positional understanding is something that starts happening. You cannot understand the position yourself. So this is, positional understanding is really something that you can only pick up if you've played a lot of games, or if you've done a lot of you've done understanding. So there's 2 types of theory in chess. There is positional theory, like develop your pieces, control the center, trade pieces if you're up material, stuff like that. That's what I like to describe as like positional theory. And then there's opening theory, which is what Fabi did this game by preparing a lot of lines. So this, in this case, I'm very specifically talking about a positional theory. Okay, so positional theory is when you actually understand what you gotta do in different positions. So for example, if you have imbalances, if you have knight and bishop, knight versus bishop, for example, you have to understand, so if I have a bishop, my opponent has a knight, what kind of endgames do I want to go to? Or if I have a queen, bishop, knight, which pieces do I want to trade off? What kind of pawn structures suits my pieces the best? If I have 2 rooks, queen, if I have like all the pieces, like it's a lot of this kind of stuff that people don't have the knowledge of currently, because, and I'm not blaming you guys. You guys have, a lot of people have only been playing chess for a little while, right? You haven't played chess for like 18 years like I have. So light and dark square control is really important. Pawn structures, incredibly important. Yeah, like positional chess is less important than bliss chess. So that there's a reason why Fabi doesn't play that much online chess, and it's because I talk a little bit about this in my one Twitter post. It's very, very simple English because I can't do complicated English. So like, it's literally just like, I talk a little bit about it here if you guys want to read the whole thing about it, but yeah. But like, I know a lot of people don't think about it, but this is the next level for a lot of people. If you're hard stuck, once you get rid of your tactics problems, once you stop blundering, which is at about 2000 level, like completely zero blunders, no blunders ever, never dropping a pawn, never dropping a single piece, that is when you start really, really, really skyrocketing with your positional understanding. So yeah, sorry, if your king is weak, not your position. Okay, very different things. If your king is weak, what should you be doing? Okay, so usually when you are trying to attack your opponent, right? You should always be thinking about where your queen is. Super important. Catjoy, stop blundering your queen. Yeah, these are very reflective. Yeah, I know. You guys can see like everything out of the reflection, but it's really, really important to always know where your queen is. I think in this position, I'm gonna confirm because I don't think the Greek gift works here. This move doesn't work. You don't have enough material for it, but that doesn't mean. Yeah, Toronto's always on fire. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit. It's fine. But the idea is that whenever you're trying to attack, are you going to be attacking your opponent? Are you going to be sacrificing material? Or for example, if it was like this kind of position. Right. If it was this kind of position, right? If your queen was not on c1, would you just go take on h6 straight away? No, right? You need your queen. Okay. So people are starting to understand that we need our queen for attacks. Yes? Yes. So if the queen was on c1, oh my god, I can't drop pieces. Okay, so if the queen was on c1, this looks a lot more likely, right? So if you are going to get potentially checkmated, your king is in the middle of the board, your opponent has like all of their pieces next to your king, like literally 3 pieces next to your king. Anyways, queen takes c3 is a really, really, really good move because you're just working on getting your queens traded. So once you get the queens traded, your king is going to be at a lot lower risk, right? Okay. Knight takes c3. Of course, Marmon. Of course. Hello, fun fact. Okay, knight to c7. He goes for the fork. How many moves deep do you think his theory went in this game? I think he knew theory all the way up to here. So the best way to really judge how much theory somebody knows is really looking at their time. There's hardly any reason for him to use time if he knows the moves perfectly, right? So let's start looking at when he starts using time. So I would say around here is when he's out of theory. Yeah, for sure, Mr. Petter. See, people who understand classical chess over here. It's pretty cool. Okay, so after this, we've got Castle, which is really cool. So he knew theory probably, I'm gonna guess, up to around move 25. I'm gonna guess. It's not, maybe he said somewhere on stream how many, or if he was interviewed, how many hours he spent, but sorry, how many moves deep he knew, but I don't actually know. So what I'm gonna judge is that because he started using time here, yeah, you can judge more about timing than the moves itself on how much preparation he's done. Yes. So, yeah, anyways, somewhere around here. It's not like super important. I think being able to remember like 26 moves is just crazy. Whether it's 27 or 25, you know, anything. That's cool, Mr. Petter. Let's go. That's really cool. Okay, so Castle, your opening preparation ends at 1e4. Yo, buddy, fist bump. Same here. Okay, so when we Castle, King G6, Knight A8. I can't remember 10 moves from your game. Okay, so Knight takes A8. And Fabi has. Okay, so I know not everybody watches my stream 24/7, but I think the other day I was talking about material imbalances, right? So in this situation, Fabi has a 1 hour advantage on his clock, and also an exchange for 2 pawns. Yeah, exactly, Trackpad. He does. Trust me, he does. His opening preparation is absolutely incredibly insane. Absolutely. insane. So, now is the point in time when you gotta judge for yourself, right? Is the exchange... Okay. Yeah, Yar, I don't even know. Like, I've seen a little bit of Fabi's preparation firsthand, and it's just always been crazy for me, and I just decided I can't be bothered, but this is not an easy win for White at all, by any standards. Okay, so let's list all of White's advantages first. In any given position, right, 2 advantages is winning, usually. So let's look at this position, let's analyze what is going on, and let's judge for ourselves who is actually... Oh my god, my editor is gonna have such a hard time editing this video. Okay, anyways, so looking at this position, what are our advantages as White, as Fabi? Alright, we have... Why? Because we're on move 28 and it's been an hour. F for the editor in the chat. Okay, so we got time advantage. That's an advantage. That's not on the board. Okay, on the board, we have open file, more active pieces. We have the exchange. Going the same pace as the actual game. We have a safe king. Exactly. And also, black is still a little bit underdeveloped. Okay. Yeah, I think my normal run for Witcher at like 4 or 5 p.m. is going to be a lot better than my estimation for at 3 p.m. or something. So, yes, exactly. Basically, those are White's advantages. What are Black's advantages? Well, he has 2 pawns for the exchange. And Toronto's on fire again. So, we could all wave to the ambulances passing by. But, what would protect the king matter more late in this game? Not really. The king doesn't really matter that much. So I'm actually gonna take that off as an, it's not really an advantage for White. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Fabi just absolutely killed this game. He absolutely killed it. So, you know, that's true, Luca. What's good is that by the end of the analysis, tomorrow's games are gonna be starting. This is so true. So our advantages are actually the fact that, first of all, up an exchange. King's like a tiny bit safer, doesn't really count. The huge time advantage though, the slight development advantage. So I would say that's like about 2.5. So I think White has like a very small advantage here, like a very, very small advantage. But you know, Black's position is by no means over. No means at all. Which color? I would rather play White, I think. I think in most games, it's better to take the more time and also better to take the more active position. But I think some people would actually also prefer to play Black because you have really nice pair pass pawns too. So it's not a big deal. Hey, Amy, what's up? Arnie, okay. Yeah, I agree, Plenor, I agree. Okay, so knight to b6. You would rather have the over 1 hour advantage. I agree. I would rather have that too. Playing with 20 minutes left. So usually on move 40, they add another 30 or 40 minutes to your clock. I don't remember what it is for candidates, but you get more time after move 40. So it's not like entirely impossible for like... No, this game is not live. It might as well as be with the pace of how I'm analyzing this game. But basically, after knight b6, rook to d8, knight takes c8, rook takes c8. Okay, 2 knights. Now this king is fine here. Like, there's no way for White to realistically make use of this king being on g6. So this king is chilling. So the thing is, right? Knights in an endgame. When are knights best? Think about this. every day is full spontaneous bloody. What are knights? Where are knights going to excel? In close positions, right? In positions where they don't have to travel across the full board, on outposts. Why didn't black take the bishop? So if black takes the bishop here, you're totally lost because you can just play rook takes d6. And then after this, you're just up a whole rook, and this is totally losing. So you can't do that. So white does choose to keep the bishop, you're correct. In these kind of endgames, bishops are better. But the thing is, bishops are not always better in endgames, right? As you guys said, bishops are good in open positions. So in this position, white keeping the bishops is a good choice, and it's an important choice to make. And that is, you know, just part of the overall positional and endgame understanding that Fabi flexes throughout this game. Okay, so after bishop a3, rook c7, rook f4. Thank you, Vlads. Well, it depends on which position to keep your bishop in. So yeah. Okay, rook to f4, knight to f6, bishop to b2, knight to e7. Okay, so now he's given up the bishop. Why does he give up the bishop, guys? Let's go, Rooster! Isolated pawns! You're correct, you're correct, you're correct. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Perfect. Breaking the pawn structure, exactly. So we were just talking about how bishops are really important. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why did you just give up a bishop now? Like, didn't we just say bishops are super important? Like, what's the point? Why do I have an alarm for 2:35 in the afternoon? Okay, so we're asking ourselves, why are bishops so important, right? And they are in open positions, but you can exchange one advantage for a different advantage. Just like how Fabi used his amazing preparation to get like an hour of extra thinking time in this game, he is now using his bishop to convert it to a different advantage, right? And he's playing bishop takes f6 because in order to win this position, what do you really need? Like, what do you actually need in these kind of positions to win? No, you can't trash talk your opponents over the board. You're actually not allowed to talk over the board, so wouldn't it be also good to have plan on putting max pressure on g7? It would be cool to do so, but how do you even attack this pawn, right? Like, he has so many pieces defending it. Okay, so you need to promote your pawns, because it's really hard to win bishop, rook, rook versus knight, knight, rook. Like, how do you even checkmate here? So you gotta work on promoting your pawns, and this is really important for endgames. Like, I have no idea, Maxwell. I'm sorry. I have zero clue about California sandstorms. So, basically, you have to think about why are people playing like Street Racer? Okay, so you have to think about how you're gonna promote your pawns. Yeah, this is, I know it's very advanced, but I'm explaining to you guys, I'm breaking down what it means to be a top level player, right? It's really, really important to understand what it is that makes Fabi stand out even above Maxime. So, yeah. Exactly. So here we go. Bishop takes f6. You want to try to work on promoting your pawns. Now, how do you work on promoting your pawns? There's so many ways, and this is not forehead advice. You can take your opponent's all of your opponent's pawns and just have no opposition to your pawns, and then just push them down. Obviously, that's quite difficult, right? When you have symmetrical pawn structures. So in order to be able to take your opponent's pawns, what you gotta do is potentially weaken them Material is still even, yes, but white has a slight positional advantage. And it is the fact that Fabi is able to use this small positional advantage in order to win this game that made this game so impressive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, watching this game really inspired me to play classical chess again. Like, it absolutely inspired me. Like, I don't even have the words to describe to you guys how much it inspired me to play classical again. Because this game was literally everything I could have possibly wanted to see in a game. So basically he's playing bishop takes f6, g takes f6. Now this pawn's gonna be weak, this pawn's gonna be weak, and we are going to, I mean, Fabi in this game is going to work on slowly capturing these pawns, right? In order, once he captures the pawn, whichever one it is, then he's going to probably be able to create a pass pawn. And if he can create a pass pawn, then he's probably going to be able to win the game. Do you see this train of thought? I probably, honestly, if I just grinded chess, no life for 2 more years, I could probably get to IM, but I also like having a life, Bruno. But actually, it was really heartwarming because yesterday there was this really obnoxious tweet from well, not obnoxious tweet, but somebody tweeted this. I posted this on Levy's channel, which is really dumb. But then Vallejo, who is a really strong grandmaster from Spain, said that, you know, and like, this was really wholesome. I just found this super wholesome. I'm like, aw, thank you, I appreciate it. So I definitely think I could work on getting an international master if I just put time into it, but I'm just not about it. Yeah, just not really about it right now. I just think that, like, there's other things I want to do. So, you know, yeah, Hikaru has also said I can be an IM for sure. I just that's just not what I'm focusing on right now, and that's totally okay. That's totally okay too. Yeah, I have like the rest of my life to do it. So right now I'm just more interested, focusing on streaming. No, IM is a little bit stronger than Women Grandmaster, yeah. But yeah, so basically.
So what you are saying is Fabi just wins forehead.
Exactly, Fabi just wins. That is the perfect summary of today's stream. Yep, stream is done, guys. Game review is done. All right, see you guys next week for the next candidates game. Nah, but I'm joking. Like, it's just win, but like broken down, you know? Like, this is broken down. Yeah, 5-second video, just win. Bobby just won. Yeah, but the thing is, just winning is what we want to do, but you can work. Like, how do you win? Like, this is literally what I'm telling you guys. You want to win, so think about how it is that you can get to win. Like, does that make sense? Like, this is like how Leela thinks. Like, if he wants to get to this kind of position, then he works through the moves to get him to that position. You can checkmate your opponent, or you can promote. Yeah, I mean, definitely, there's so many ways you can win, right? Like, you can take all his pieces, you can promote, but like in this position very specifically, it's already endgame. You're probably not going to checkmate. You already know you're not going to checkmate with a rook and a rook versus a knight and a rook. Fun fact, rook versus knight, like, okay, this is really important to know as well, okay? This position is an absolute draw, right? Do you guys all know this? Why? Because there's no way to win. Okay, that sounded really forehead. But like, basically you're never going to be able, if the knight's not here, obviously. If the knight is obviously not here, then this is winning, right? And we should all be able to win this. But if the knight is here, there's no way for the rook to checkmate black's king, because the knight will always be able to block or check, or there's basically just, or get stalemated. So in low elo it's not, because there's probably a fork. True, Ibnis, true. Yeah, in low elo, in blitz, this will probably, somebody will probably win because somebody will flag or something. But in classical, this is an absolute draw. Now, looking at this position, how's that gonna help us? Okay, so we know, therefore, this position is also a draw. If it's a bishop, this is also a draw, right? So then when we come back to this position, and this is all knowledge we have in our heads before we even enter this game. Like, this is all knowledge we've all built up. Like Fabi, everybody has already built this knowledge up. So now if you think about this, right, then what are your winning conditions? So what are your winning conditions? Well, you definitely in this position would need a pass pawn. You would need a pawn in order to promote. You need another pawn. You absolutely need another pawn. And that's why it's really important to have these ideas in mind when you're playing an endgame, so you know what to play for. So you're not just making moves randomly around the board. You actually have something to play for. Does that make sense? Like in this position, I know that I would need to somehow promote. You like black more now? I mean, objectively speaking, white is better, but I can definitely see how it's easier to play black because you have two pass pawns. So yeah. Is it possible to get some checkmate with knight versus rook if they mess up really bad? Yes, Matt, it's very possible. And you see that a lot in Tattoo Tuesday, actually, people messing up, but in like classical over the board, it's pretty much impossible. So two bishop versus one rook is also a draw. Yes. So that's why, okay, so now Fabi is gonna work very slowly to get all the pawns. And the thing is, right, like all these moves, okay, these are just like tactical moves, trying to not, so he swaps off one of the pawns, he swaps off the H pawn. Now his only goal in this world is to take this pawn on F6. Now, if he ever traded off his G pawn or lost it, the game is instantly drawn. Yeah? Yes. One queen and two rooks is still a draw. Yep. Yeah, so, it would still be a draw. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing Witcher whenever I finish like some game analysis. I wanted to look a little bit at the other games too, but not like super in depth as this one. This one was just my favorite game up from today. I'll probably during candidates, I'll pick a game I really enjoy and just do like analysis for it, because I think it's really cool. So, you hate endgames? If you hate endgames, I have the perfect book for you, and this is not sponsored. Wait, where is my book? If you hate endgames, this is the best book ever. It's literally a book for literally anybody from... Man, they should start giving me a cut for how many times I've advertised this book on stream. This is for unrated all the way to 2400. This is literally like the Bible for chess endgames. Aggressive chess is not gonna teach you endgames, guys. Okay, aggressive chess is not gonna make your endgames better. Hey, Sleds. So, if you want to improve your endgames, this is the book. You have the name? This is the perfect book for whatever endgame needs you have. And obviously Dvoretsky's endgame manual is like really good, right? But this is much better for beginners. No, I'm not paid to advertise. This is a book I read when I was 7 or like 6, whatever. But yeah, that book is awesome. You know, it's really good for endgames. If you're trying to get to a higher level of chess, you should really be trying to learn endgames. 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa is also really good, but I think this one gives you a much better... This is more like a course rather than just like cool endgames to look at. This is more like an entire course. So... Jinky. So yeah. Wait, 7? That is very demoralizing. Yeah, no worries. Look, I still read the book sometimes in order to teach people. Is buying books really worth it for novice players? It's like 27 bucks, guys. It's not a very expensive book. Chess.com subscription is also really good. But this book is like 27 bucks for like 10 years of endgame knowledge. It's cheaper than buying lessons. It's 27 Canadian bucks too. So it's like 21 USD. It's like 10 years of, like, imagine I started from unrated, right? Like everybody else. And now I'm like, what, 2300 at my peak. So this book is literally 18 years of my endgame knowledge. That's all I've ever needed. 21 bucks for that, I think, is pretty affordable. It's called Silman's Complete Endgame Course. Dude, that's a lot. What? Why is it so expensive there? Okay, for my next giveaway, I'm gonna give away one of these books from Amazon, and I'll just literally Amazon it to your address. You're still reading My System? My System is good too. Okay, that'll be my next giveaway idea, because I love this book so much. Yeah. Is there a book that'll tell you how to click faster? No. Who is Silman? Silman's an OG author. It's out of stock at the moment. I'm not surprised. It's a really good book. Like, I'm not joking. It's like one of the best books. Jeremy Silman, yes. Thank you, Ergo. Appreciate the prime. Thank you. Welcome back your 5th month. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's true, Vidsik. That's true. No, this tournament is played over the board, actually. Yes. Do you think beginners lose more often in mid and early game? Yeah, I do. But if you learn end games, you're also probably more likely to win those end games, right? And learning end games teaches you a lot of things. Okay, so the way that chess works is when you play an opening, you're thinking about what kind of middle game you want to play. When you play a middle game at my level, you're probably already thinking about what kind of end game you want to play. It's not just like all of these little parts of the game are all interconnected, right? You might be playing certain structures right from the opening because you know you like that structure in the end game. So these are all things that, once again, going back to the tweets I tweeted today, modern people who haven't played chess during the haven't played over the board chess are not going to understand this. So like strategy and actual understanding of the entire game is so important. So important when it comes to longer games. And basically what shorter time controls does is you try to cram everything into a very short amount of time, but obviously it doesn't work out that well, right? Because you don't have the brain power to do it. So yeah, for sure, Axe. Yeah, you should definitely check this one. Exactly, Bidzik. So chess is a game of blunders only because it is online. This is a really important tweet about what the differences are, and if you only ever want to play online, okay, but I still highly recommend you to understand why it is you gotta think the way that classical chess players do. Right? Understood? Yes? Can I get a 1 in the chat for everybody who's understanding what I'm thinking about? Okay. Okay. People are understanding. Like, once again, I'm not here to like preach chess to you guys. I'm here just to like hopefully get you guys to see chess in the way that somebody who has played chess for like 18 years is looking at it. And it's not just me, it's a lot of other over the board chess people, you know? Yeah, of course, Johnny. I mean, I see more on an actual physical board than I do online because that's what I'm used to. You guys are probably more used to seeing chess online, so yes. Yeah. How many brain cells do you need to learn this? Let's go, Mike. Yeah, chess is beautiful. Okay, so going back to this game. Alright, we're almost 2 hours into this game analysis. This game analysis is actually taking as long as the game itself. Okay. Knight to G6. Yeah, Franio, it takes time to get used to it. But it's a lot easier to make the swap from over the board onto online. Like, I'll just be 100% honest. If you've played on over the board, it's so much easier. I think it's 10 times easier than going from online into 5 hours to go to reach game length. Yeah, exactly, Chris, exactly. Dude, my game analysis streams are always like 2 hours, man. Just play, yes. You really just need to, Candidates means that they're playing for a spot for, they're playing for the spot of challenging Magnus Carlsen at the World Championships. So, yes. Yeah, I mostly just play tournaments in Europe, mix of Canadian, but I'll think about it. Okay, so Rook to H7, once again, we're just gonna go for this pawn. If Black is not able to promote his pawns, well, then he can't win. And anyways, in this position, Black doesn't really have winning chances, so it's only going to be an White wins angle. Yeah. So, you know why Magnus doesn't play Kappa? He can't play himself, you know? How long I stream tonight? I usually stream like 7 hours-ish. Yeah. Okay, we're almost getting there. We're almost getting through this game. Okay. Who will win? 2300 ELO player with classical chess time or Magnus with blitz time? Good question. I don't know. Why did they add time? I don't remember the specific rules, but sometimes the clocks add time after your time has run down. No, you're never too late, fun fact. You might just never be world champion, but like, hey, I'm not world champion either. I've been playing since I was 3, so as long as you enjoy the game and appreciate the game, I think that's all you have, you know? So, isn't fork on G4 a chance for Black? Yes, but the chances are, and I don't really like, okay, so here, Maxime plays Rook C6. An hour I move 40 and 30 minutes I move 60. Okay. Oh, they actually have double? I didn't even know that. I had no idea. Okay, that's really long. Yeah, I'm a former world champion, but still, I'm not like Magnus Carlsen world champion. I was world champion for under 14, which is actually still really cracked. Because now the current girl who got like 3rd in that tournament is like 2,500 or something. So like, honestly, dude, these youth tournaments are insane. They're actually just really insane. Yeah. Okay, so Rook C6. So he's swapping off this rook because if he moves his king, then he loses the pawn. And well, he actually doesn't lose the pawn. So you gotta go King G3. But he's probably gonna lose the pawn eventually. I don't think the lower ratings over the board's almost all kids. There's definitely a lot of kids, but it won't be all kids. I think it will change after the pandemic. If you're scared about playing kids, like, yo, kids are good. Don't forget that, okay? So yeah, basically no king to e7 for Maxime. He doesn't want to get in that position where he's super passive, so he decides to just exchange. So at this point, I'm gonna say it's still really hard to win. I don't know what the table bases were saying because I didn't look, but still, man, now everybody's just talking about the experience of getting crushed by a kid. Of course, that's Murray. Of course. Yeah, it's supposed to be a draw, but one inaccuracy, and it's probably gonna be over. Okay, so yeah, so I was correct. Actually, the clock goes up in time once you've run out of time. So you can see at this point. So you're supposed to, at move 40, if you let your clock run out, you actually get plus, no, after you make your 40th move, if you let your clock just run out right now, you actually get a plus 40 minutes in candidates, not in every single tournament. Okay. So basically here, what you see with the clock is 1 minute 20 seconds. How does it go to 48? Man's, is it an hour? No, it's probably not an hour. It's probably like, I don't know the specifics. Anyways, they get plus 50. Thank you. They get plus 50 in the candidates this time. It changes like every single tournament, and I don't keep track. I literally cannot keep track. Every single tournament I watch, it's like a different time control, but it's all around the same idea. So basically here, after this, they get another 50 minutes. And okay, so once again, right, just White's idea is simple, has to somehow promote this pawn. How does he promote this pawn? Well, he has to get rid of this pawn. If he ever swaps this off, it's a draw, right? Because we've already talked about this. Knight versus rook is a drawn endgame. Okay, so rook to d6, knight to e5. The king is going here in order to stop the king from coming to f5. Rook takes a6. Okay, so we've taken that pawn. There's really realistically no way for black to like be able to hold on this pawn. So the problem is now, if the knight comes to protect the a6 pawn, what white can actually do is play g4 and g6. And since this is pinned and the knight has very limited activity, yeah, exactly, Miss Prayer. It depends on the event. So now white is threatening to play g5. White's starting to play g5. If the king moves away, then black lets the white king come, and you're gonna lose the f6 pawn. So there's realistically very little ways for black to defend this. And this is the part where you see how a knight is not that good at an endgame when there's pawns on both sides of the board. Is that kind of cool? Okay, why are you guys all papegas now? We're here learning, okay? We're learning. Okay, let's go. Okay, so knights are not that good when you have like pawns that are halfway across the board to defend. Yeah, the rook's got big board vision. Thank you, Idiot Church, for the prime. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. So basically, Pepega army indeed. Online lessons vibe. Nah, this literally feels like I'm like in a Zoom lecture. Like, I literally feel like I'm in a Zoom lecture right now. I'm trying to give really instructive commentary on a game that was just played, and everybody's like, me Pepega. Like, literally, that's what it feels like. The YouTube video is gonna show this chat, by the way. True. Oh, no. People getting timed out. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to teach a bunch of 4-year-olds. This is going really well. Okay, anyways. Okay, we're almost done the game, okay? We're almost done the game. It only took like 2 hours to get to this far. But, right? Okay, so let's take a look. I don't even know where the inaccuracy was. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the knight's just gonna like go around and around and around because we just have to defend this pawn. On which move is the inaccuracy? Yes, Ellie, you're right. Okay. Knight here, rook here, rook here. It said it was one of the knight moves. There's so many knight moves. Knight went to h6 a bunch of times. Oh, wait. I guess around here was the mistake, yeah? Huh. Knight G7 instead of Knight H6 was a draw. Wait, your knight can't go to... Had to bring the knight to C7 instead of E7. I'm not gonna go look at the table bases. This is the part where my endgame knowledge just stops. Thank you so much, Topic, for the 10 gifted subs! Yo, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys got a gifted sub from Topic, make sure you're thanking him, okay? Yo, you're awesome. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, let me tell you, even Carlson was confused. Yo, okay, I'm not gonna go into the depths of table bases to talk about this. Like, I'm just not that kind of person. But, you know, if you really want an expert opinion, apparently Magnus Carlsen will probably have a clip talking about which move in this very long endgame was actually a draw. But the point is, humans are not perfect. Fabi played an absolutely beautiful game. If Maxime actually found the move to draw, then he probably deserved the draw, right? So, yeah, the knight probably needed to defend f5 because then the king can come attack this. So, basically, this was a really beautifully played game by Fabi. And this is the one game in my life that I'm actually gonna remember. I hardly ever remember chess games, but I will remember this one. So it was really cool. Yeah, Fabi won the game. Fabi actually ended up winning the game. Basically what happened was the king got to f5 and the pawn finally moved. Sorry, not the king got f5. The king managed to come in, and basically now if the king comes back to e6, then you play here, go here, check, king here, and then you can take, and then after takes, then this. Because there's no way for this knight to consistently protect this pawn and have white not be allowed, not be able to. Like, it was hard for black to defend this pawn and not let this move happen. So this is a really cool, yeah.